ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show, our second finals edition for season 2016 after what was a pretty big weekend of finals to kick off the 2016 McDonald's final series. Last weekend, Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me, as always, my co-host and AFL Goldfields netball manager, Kim Bailey. Kimmy, how did you survive first week of finals?
Just, Sean, just. It's been a big week.
That's why you've got the full-strength coffee over there. And
my tea.
Yep.
It's been a big week, kicking off with the press conferences. It was great to see all the coaches there.
They were. Fantastic.
So it was a great week to start with and some really good games of netball. So, yeah, we got through the first week and it just gets better from here.
It does indeed. 6 teams becomes 4 this weekend, and obviously after this weekend we'll lose one more on the way to the grand final. And this weekend we'll also find the identity of the first team through to the grand final for season 2016, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We have some talking points to go through from the past weekend. They are, of course, our finals games from the first week of the finals, starting with the qualifying final and East Point winning their way through to a second semi-final in a very, very good game of netball against North Ballarat City.
Yeah, it was nip and tuck all game. East jumped to a 4-goal lead at quarter time and maintained that until the last, when they pulled away and won by 6, I think, in the end.
51 to 45.
So it was that 4-goal start at the start that they maintained, and North just couldn't peg that back.
Yep.
And from what I was hearing from the guys at the game is that the defensive pressure in the mid-court applied from East was exceptional. And that really starved Jordan Bibby of the ball and the feed into her. And we've seen that by the amount of shots. Jordan normally shoots a lot more than 26 from 30. Like, the percentages was great when she did get the ball, it went in the hole. But just getting the ball to her, and that's what do you do to stop a person like Jordan? That's the only way you can do. So very well done, very well coached, and some really strategic moves there. And I think from the sounds of it, young Beth Smith coming on halfway through the third quarter really shut Jordan down even more. They made that change. And had a sensational game there, and so did Emma Farrell. Led the way. You know, the experience in finals came out, and she just dominated in the ring, shooting at 84%. So just really had no answer for him. In Ballarat, North Ballarat. Sarah Milton had a great game and did close Lauren Jude down a little bit, and I thought that was always a really good match-up there. Sarah's such a tough, close checking defender. Yep.
And Lauren's got a history of really standing up in big moments in finals games as well for such a young player.
Yeah, but I think Sarah, by the sound of it, had a really good game. So really interesting result. You wouldn't call 6 goals a huge victory. It's only 3 turnovers, but still, for a team to go out, bust it open by 4 and maintain that means they've had a really good day.
Yep.
So, yeah, and look, they're finished on top of the ladder. They're most probably the team that deserve to go through to the second semi. So, and North will rebound back, of course, I think. But, I think Stacey McCartan's first game back.
Yep, I think you're right.
After a knee injury, and might have still been favouring that knee a little bit. But she still had a good game. So, yeah.
I suppose the positive sign I see from North Ballarat City is the fact that, yes, Jordan was held. She only took 30 shots for the day. But Gina McCartan took 28 shots for the day as well. And in a team that, at times, it seems that the GA stood for goal assist rather than goal attack, it's really good to see that Gina's took up and taken almost half of the shots for the game.
Still need to shoot high on 61%.
True.
That you can shoot, it's great that they started the ball, but you look at that. Jordan still shot 26 at 87%. So only missed 4 shots. You just need to get, if that's going to happen and the goal attack becomes a more pivotal player, she's got to put the ball in the hole.
Yep.
And look, she had a good game, Jenna, she really did, and we know what sort of feeder she is, but as a goal attack, you still need to get that ball in the hole.
You do indeed. Both teams, of course, live to fight another day. We will talk about them more throughout the course of the day. The other game played on Saturday last week was the first elimination final played down at Darley Park, and again, just a 6-goal margin in this one as well between Lake Wendouree and Sebastopol. The Lakers probably fairly heavy favourites going in, but Sebastopol, boy, they can hold their heads up after this one because they played a really, really good game.
Yeah, they did. I watched this game. It was a bit of a scrappy game. The skill went out of it a little bit because it was so scrappy. But I think what I think Georgia Can needs to take over, but what a fantastic effort she's done to get the Borough girls into the final series. And, you know, teams were thinking, we don't want to play Sebastopol. Their crowd was amazing and really loud. But
the Lakers were one of those teams that did want to play Sebastopol.
Yeah, but look, Lakers, they're the team that I keep saying to you, they've snuck under the radar a little bit.
They have. Very much Redan in 2011 feel about them, who Redan snuck under the radar that year against a Lakers team that we just predicted to go through and sweep everything, like East Point are this year. And history will tell you that Redan won the premiership that year, and it was probably the watershed moment for that netball club.
I think the key person in this game, and she had an absolute blinder, was Kirsty Walsh. She really had such a strong game. She was amazing. Her drive down the court, and she really took Prue Scott right out of the game. And to me, that was the most pivotal thing that stood out.
Yep.
In saying that, I sometimes thought that Lakers' ball movement, and especially around the circle, was very predictable. So I think they'll have to work on that. You look around and there was a lot of bounce passes, and I'm not a big bounce pass fan, to tell you the truth, so most probably I think they're easily intercepted, but I'm surprised that Sebas didn't get onto that sooner. And Katie Williams and Romsey did that very, very well. And if a team's not going to get onto it, exploit it to the max. Right. And they did. They really did. Mel Allen was really strong underneath the ring. Georgia Can had a great game, 28 from 30 at 94%. You know, and that's good. And I did notice that, most probably Adriana Can was down a little bit too on her shooting, with 64%. Exactly the same thing we said just a couple of minutes ago about Gina. You just, as a goal attack, it's great to, you know, do we expect, I know we're not Vixen players, but, you know, do we expect Gretel Tippett, for example, to shoot at that level? That goal attack is really important. They are a goaler. They still need to get that ball in the hole. And then, you know, their shooting percent now was a little bit down, 77%, still great shoot, 77 still nothing good to be sneezed at. Chrissy James, 69%, had a really good game too, I thought Chrissy did. But
she's a good player in the way that obviously she can move the ball, feed in as well, but also accept the feed of goal attack.
Yeah, I was really impressed with her, to tell you the truth. Molly Boyle had a really good game in defence as well.
That's nothing to be surprised at there.
And that's most probably had an effect on and Adriana's shooting percentages as well. So I think Lakers could most probably go up another gear.
Yep. Which they'll need to this week.
Yeah, they'll need to. I just thought they cruised a little bit, but to that, and then they had Sebas put on the pressure. I think they were 10 goals down at three-quarter time, and then they did a little revival. So, you know, they let Lakers get that 5-goal jump, as we've sort of spoken about. Once you let a team get a jump, it's hard work to bring it back. But, you know, they should be very proud of their efforts. And, you know, the top 3 teams are through, and that's what we expected as well. So, good result for the Lakers.
Yeah, it was indeed. Of course, the season opens up now for the Lakers, who go into a second semi-final this week and get 2 chances to play off in a grand final. The other talking point this week was, of course, the second elimination final being played on Sunday at the Eastern Oval, and you could term this, I suppose, a little bit of an upset. 5th beating 4th in this one. Ballarat taking on Sunbury and coming out victorious by 3 goals in what wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but was a very defensive and very effective game. And look, full credit to Ballarat. They came in with a game plan, they stuck to it, and they got the job done.
Yeah. Ellen Worth had a really good game.
She did.
And just provided that really nice clean feed into Kelly Moran, who shot at 87%, so 37 from 43.
Which was good considering that Sunbury were doubling back on her at times as well.
Yeah, so they decided to play split ring, which, as we sort of said before, you need to
Sounds
play.
painful.
Yeah, no, that's one of the best defences to play, 12 players to play a split.
Yep.
Beck Anstey shot 37 goals of Sunbury's 45, so they were missing a few players, so she had to go back into defence. And when you think, into goals, and that game they played earlier in the year, Beck was the difference playing on Kelly Moran, and so she wasn't there to play on her. So. And
obviously Rachel Doverston as well was also playing in goals this week, which was an interesting move because I don't know how much Rachel's played in goals this year. She's been playing in defence for most of the year and done a fantastic job. So it was a little bit, I looked at one stage and thought, hang on, they've got the defensive end up the wrong end of the court.
Yeah, and I think that, because they didn't have the players available, that's what they just had to do. Somebody would be disappointed that I think this is the first time in 4 years that they might have been bundled out in the first week of finals.
Yep.
So, but Ballarat, they're one of the good news stories as well.
Great news story.
You know, they snuck in to finals last year, and now they're in again, and they went out first week last year. Now they're through to the second
and
week.
it just shows the development. Obviously, 2 years ago they went through the season winless. Lisa Battistello came in last year, got them into the finals. Now, not only have they got into the finals, but they've won a final. They've got into the second week, and they can really build on this going forward.
Yeah.
Full credit to Lisa. She's done a fantastic job this year, and considering two of her first choice players, Hayley Fiddler and Katie Lindquist, missing for most of the year as well, completely, as she said at the press conference, had to completely change her structures around. They've done a fantastic job to be where they are.
When you think of those two players, that would make that team look a hell of a lot different as well.
Yeah.
That would most probably, no disrespect to any of the other girls, but that would most probably lift those players 2 or 3 positions on the ladder even.
Certainly would indeed. Ballarat live to fight another day. As we look at the second week of the finals this weekend, in semi-final weekend, both games being played at the Eastern Oval this weekend on Saturday. It is second semi-final day. The winners of these games go straight through to a grand final. The 19 and under is Ballarat taking on Redan. D grade, it's North City and Sunbury. C grade is Lake Wendouree and Sunbury. B grade is Sunbury versus Lake Wendouree. And then the A grade game, East Point taking on Lake Wendouree. They had a pretty good game earlier this year, but East Point, much like they did last weekend, put the Lakers at arm's length and didn't really let them in too much. I think Lake Wendouree will know how to play against East Point, though. They've bundled them out of the finals the last couple of years, though. That being said, East Point would love nothing more than to win this game, get themselves into that grand final, and I suppose stop the worrying that they've had in recent years.
Yeah, a really good game, because you look at their mid-court, both teams' mid-courts, and they match up really, really well in the mid-court.
They do.
So I think that's where the game will be won. I just think that Emma's experience could be a bit of a difference as well.
Yep.
She continues on that great form. She's such a calming influence down there. But
Kelly Berry playing on her will be an interesting matchup as well.
Yeah, I think so. But again, I just think that, the brain sometimes is just, when you, no disrespect, Emma, but when you get a little bit older, that experience is, although it is so valuable.
It is.
It's just so valuable, and she's a really smart player. I think she'll be key. Whether they can... Mel Allen, I need to shut Mel down, because I don't think Mel was most probably at her best on the weekend. She had a good
Which is pretty
game.
ominous, considering she was good too.
Yeah, like she was good, but I think that, they can most probably put the foot down. As I said, I think sometimes when I looked at them the other day, they were only half pace. They could be a lot more explosive in their attack and their defence. And their mid-court was really good, and that's where I think the game will be won. Loz Atkinson will no doubt fire. She loves finals as well. I think East, if they're going to win any final this year, any premiership this year, this is the chance they've got, and they're going to take it by the throat, and I think they'll get a comfortable victory.
I think East Point need to win this game to get themselves through, because they have got the jitters up in preliminary finals in recent years as well, and if they don't win this game and they're into a preliminary final, they may have some old demons get exposed. Best thing to do for them this week, win through, get themselves into the grand final, give themselves 2 weeks to worry about what needs to happen.
I don't believe in stuff like that. I think they're a good enough team to do it without that last year, this year, 2 years ago. They're a good enough team to do it. Every year's different, and this is a different structured team. It looks so different than last year as well, and I think
I think they'll get through.
I've picked them from the start. They've always...
You've been on the bandwagon
I've been on the
round one.
bandwagon. I have been on the bandwagon. I'm not jumping off now.
Now, East Point to win through to this game. Lake Wendouree, though, by virtue of their win last week, still get a second crack at it if they do
next week. And they deserve to have that second crack.
They do indeed. First semi-final day this Sunday at the Eastern Oval. 19 and under is North City versus Melton. The D grade is Lake Wendouree versus Ballarat. The C grade is Ballarat versus East Point. The B grade is North Ballarat City versus East Point. And in the A grade game, North Ballarat City taking on Ballarat. You look at it on face value and you think that North Ballarat City start this game as pretty warm favourites, but Ballarat tend to match up pretty well against North Ballarat City. They've run them throughout the course of this year, and I think this could be a lot closer than what a lot of people think.
I don't. I think they're the red hot favourites.
Smack.
No, I don't. And I think they're just...
Which is fair enough too.
I just think they're such a strong team, North, and they deserve to go in as red hot favourites. Yeah, they lost on the weekend.
Yep.
That's fine. And I think the game under Stacey's belt will do her good. Their defensive pressure is awesome, and they're quite a physical team in defence, and that's where I think they will get the best. They'll shut Ballarat down.
And that can be Kelly's Achilles heel, Kelly Moran's Achilles heel sometimes if you've got a very defensive player on her.
And Abby Wiltshire against some seasoned players like Jordan Bibby and Gina McCartan, I think will most probably have an effect on her as well. Inexperience comes in it. They're an experienced finals team, North City. And this Ballarat team is most probably the new kid in the block in finals.
Yep.
And they've done a fantastic effort, they really have. I just think that they're just going to be far too strong.
Yeah. Look, I tend to agree with you as well.
Ballarat have been a great story, but they're coming up against a really awesome team.
They are. And look, I think the same thing. Ballarat City.
You've got to remember, second versus sixth, isn't it?
Fifth.
Second versus fifth. So, yeah, and just fifth, I think it was up and down. But, Lisa's done a great job with those Ballarat girls. But, yeah, I just
the fairy tale ends this weekend, you think?
Unfortunately.
So, yeah, North Ballarat City, I think, will win this game as well, which will set us up for a fantastic third week and beyond of the 2016 McDonald's Finals Series. Look forward to seeing you at the netball this weekend at the Eastern Oval, Kimmy. It's going to be another great weekend of netball.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing you there as well. Thanks for joining us on the BFNL Netball Show for another week. We'll see you next week.